Dutch, what are you doing, man? Come on, we gotta do the show. It's like 10 o'clock at night.
What are you talking about, man? I'm getting ready for the Downton Abbey movie. I'm on the last episode. I can't wait to watch it.
I've been waiting for you for the last hour. You can watch that whenever. Forget the movie. Who even cares?
I care about the movie. Everyone does. So
everyone. I'm not gonna see that hunk of whatever.
Okay, so you want us to do the show now?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Let's do it. I got stuff to do.
Okay, fine.
Late.
For you, I'll do it. But after that, it's back to the Abbey.
I'm back to the whatever. Just do the show.
Okay. Fine. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dutch McAllister, alongside my tag team colleague,
Jordan Pierce Owens.
Yes, it's been a while. It's been a while since we've done this show.
It's been far too long, and as you can see, or well, more so here,
yes.
We're in the Pierce Productions office, not the Dizzle office, because Dizzle had furniture to move in St. Pete, or a Seinfeld concert, or he's just
a busy man. Yeah. He's a man of leisure, but he's also a man of business.
Leisure or leisure? I thought it was leisure my whole life.
Leisure, it could be the same.
Tomato, let's go the whole thing off.
Yes,
hey.
And so we did, and we decided to come to the bunker here at Pierce Studios.
What's going to be a bunker? Make it sound all dingy.
It's not. I'm just saying, you come to my hole, then, it's still the bunker.
Why don't you enter the bunker? You never leave the bunker.
Yes. Everyone enters, no one ever leaves. Don't know why.
This is episode number 23. Turtles may win the race with the rabbit. It's still fluffy.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like the idea that...
You never know what these titles are.
I just come up with them, and they don't ever stick anyway, so why the hell not? But we got a lot of reviews for the first time in a long time, because it's been about 2.5 weeks.
We usually always have a few, but today we've got more than a few, because as you said, we've taken a little bit of a hiatus, as, Dutch went to rehab, and right?
Yeah, I had to step away from the show for a little while. You had to step away from the show for a bit, and it seems as if Dizzle is still away from the show a little bit.
This show made the background of Lethal Weapon seem like a family, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there we go.
Any appearances for you?
I have no appearance, but hey, you know what though? I do have to say though, congratulations to you because you just did an ACW pay-per-view, PPIV, or how do they call that anymore? IPPV for WWN Live.
Yes.
.com.
Live iPay-per-view, WWNlive.com, Club WWN, yes, for ACW. You can still check that out. The replay is now up. We just watched the first half of it.
Yeah. Did a great job. Good job.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Well, we're back October the 19th in Port Richey. That will again be live on iPay-per-view. And also, too, September the 28th, I'll be live in Fort Myers for RPW. So check that out as well. Okay,
perfect. I like that you're staying busy. Me, I'm just watching my Downton Abbey, my friend. Just watching my Downton Abbey.
Good luck with that. I do have nothing but fun tomorrow. I might check out something myself.
A week early.
Out and about.
The show's a week early and then when it comes out. So I can't wait. I'll tell you all the good stuff that happens. But first off, let's start off with a movie that's number one in everyone's chill factor.
It sure ain't Dora the Explorer. You owe me money.
Well, I'm waiting for that $80 million to come somehow sneaking in to boost the box office sales. But I'm probably going to just give it you $5 later on. But it's called It Chapter 2. It picks up 27 years after the first encounter, but technically only 2 years. With the terrifying Pennywise, the Losers Club has grown up and moved away until a devastating phone call brings them all back together. What a cast we have. We have Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy, Bill Hader, Isaiah Mustafa, Jay Ryan, James Ranstone, Andy Bean, Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise, Jadine Martell, Wyatt Olaf, Jack Dylan Grazer, Finn Wolfhard, Sophia Lillis, Chosen Jacobs, Jeremy Ray Taylor, Teach Grant, and Nicholas Hamilton all round out this fun-filled cast. They brought the cast back, the young kids. They digitally, made them younger.
Some fun cameos as well too. We won't spoil for you, but there's about 3 cameos, and if you look it up online, there's a few more that you might not have known of.
Yeah, and it's just to me, this film picks up right where it left off in my mind. It had
that's literally the movie. It picks up where it left off. So what do you mean in your mind?
Well, in my mind, because something it's just the way I'm saying is it didn't miss a beat from where it left. Where you have subsequels who come in and it takes a little bit of time to play footsie with you. This one kind of knocks you right away as soon as the opening credits hit. And I found it not. People were complaining, oh, it's 2 hours and 45 minutes long, or it was 45 minutes too long in some people's minds. I thought it was just the right pacing. I wish there was a little bit more time to delve into some of the story that they kind of flashed around with Bill Hader's character. And I just thought it was just a good movie all around. It made my pulse quicken because, one, I'm afraid of clowns, and Skarsgård does again a wonderful job as Pennywise. Like I said, the whole cast, Jessica Chastain and Bill Hader, I think, are the major stars in this second one. But everyone else pulls their own weight as well. What do you think about this movie? I thought it was very good.
No, I had a really good time with this movie, man. I really loved the first one. I dug it. It was, I want to say, a relative surprise because I had hopes, but you just never know. I also had hopes for the other Stephen King movie recently, The Dark Tower. And we saw how that was the opposite of it, as to where that was just misshoveled, didn't know exactly where it wanted to go, and went from being a trilogy to we'll never talk about it again.
Also, the Pet Cemetery, you had the nerve to watch this year as well. It came out.
Yeah, I mean that one I would say actually is probably that's a good middle ground of the three of it. Dark Tower and Pet Sematary. Pet Sematary was perfectly fine and acceptable, and kind of knew what it wanted to be to a degree, but it's not that special or anything. I thought it had. One, as you said here, a great cast, and of course the second one, fantastic cast. A lot of things that people had wanted. We had said Jessica Chastain, and it happened. Bill Hader was actually even requested by Finn Wolfhard, or he was asked in interviews 2 years ago, who could play the future you? And he's like, oh, how about Bill Hader? And it happened. And James Ransone, I thought, had a nice breakout performance, and I didn't look him up, but I thought he did really great in this as well. McAvoy is always a pleasure. And there's it's gorier than the first one, I think. They really stepped it up. They really got that R rating. I think maybe the first one they were like, well, just in case we gotta trim it, let's make it PG-13. And a lot of kind of like they cut before some of the murders even happened. This one, you see everything. It's pretty bloody. But no, I had fun. You do feel the length. Yeah, I think you definitely feel it. But I never felt it in like a really like, come on, let's just get it done.
Yeah, see, I didn't even feel the length. I thought I could go another hour and a half in that film because there were so many unexplored spots that I think they could. I know for time constraints that's why they did it. But there's another whole back end of the climax scene in which they face Pennywise, and there's a lot of other scenes that that would have made you go what if you would have watched it, but they couldn't put it in, even though they did talk about it. They just never brought it through 100%. But yeah, I
think one day it'll be a great miniseries. I think you could go longer with this if you had to.
Well, if anything, I think they like the director said, he's up to making this a movie, about a 6 or more hour film, and filming the scenes that want to be seen and putting them all together and making a great film. I could do it. I could sit through 6 or 7 hours of this easily.
So, what'd you think in the end, my buddy? Would you flick it?
I gave the first one the exact same thing. I'm going to give this one 4 snowflakes. It was a good film. It had me on the edge of my seat. The cast was great. Bill Hader, you know what? If he doesn't even get recognized at all for anything, he should. I know he gets it for the HBO show that he has, but to me, this was probably his best acting job I've seen in any film in a while.
He's a good actor. You should watch Skeleton
Twins. It was a very good film. Again, he was overlooked in that one because he was kind of new to the acting.
It wasn't new to acting.
Well, they knew him for more of a slapstick.
Yeah, but it was a smaller film. I think the film itself.
But those are usually the ones who get all the stuff. But what did you think? What's your deal?
As always, any great 2 critic hosts, I completely disagree with you, and I'm going to give it 4.
Oh, good. I thought
we're pretty spot on here, man. I would if I had to. I'm not even going to say which one was better, the first or second one, because the first one always has the advantage of being fresh and new and first time with these characters. But it was a pretty adequate follow-up. I enjoyed getting to this. It's something I've been looking forward to. Literally since the first one ended, I was looking forward to seeing the follow-up, and I thought they did a pretty good job delivering here. They gave us the cast we wanted, and the cast showed up to play. As you mentioned, Hader doing fantastic. Everyone seems to be talking about Hader, which is cool, because as a big fan of that Barry show, I'm definitely on a Hader train already, and that train just is moving faster.
Keeps on going. What other film we got coming up? We got K is what we got second coming up. the peanut butter.
Okay, a little bit of a background note.
We're going. We're that's my notes. So you've
got the peanut butter falcon. After running away from a residential nursing home to pursue his dream of becoming a pro wrestler, you and me both, buddy. A man who has Down syndrome befriends an outlaw who becomes his coach and ally. You got a cast that includes Shia LaBeouf, Dakota Johnson, Zach Gottsagen, Bruce Dern, Thomas Hayden Church, John Hawkes, Yellow Wolf, John Berthel, Mick Foley, and Jake, you may know him as Jake the Snake, Roberts.
So, what did you think about this film, man? Because it was unbelievable.
I gotta say I'm in love with this film.
Yes.
There's just something about it. It has the right heart, which sometimes it's a little too schmaltzy, but I don't care, man. This thing just from the get-go with the road trip and the introduction of Zach Gottsagen.
Yes.
And Shia LaBeouf, man. Maybe he's nuts a little bit backstage. I don't know. But in certain films, he delivers. Fury, Man Down, and this is a fantastic performance.
Yes.
Now, you want to talk about something that I'll be mad if they don't get recognized. That will be this movie.
This movie, completely.
If Shia LaBeouf doesn't get something, I don't know, man. I hope that the word of mouth continues to really plug for this, smaller film here. And just everyone here is just great. I've actually never been more charmed by Dakota Johnson.
Yes.
I've always been a little iffy with her, depending.
This is, I think, one of her more. I think this to me is more of a showcase of what she can do if given a good part. In the film.
Yeah. I just thought she was super charming. The wrestlers that show up, Jake the Snake's really fun in his small role.
Yeah.
Thomas Hayden Church popping up as the idol of the kid. Snake or whatever.
Yeah, alligator, snake. Yeah,
crocodile, alligator, some animal.
Yeah, some 80s type of deal. But
this thing that I just thought it had a ton of heart. There's some great moments between LaBeouf and the kid that I think it steals your heart, and it does a great job. I really liked it.
This film. I think about it and I still tear up a little bit because it's just such a great, powerful film of friendship. It's also of just a guy who, he has Down syndrome, but he also just wants to be treated like a normal guy. And they focus on that as well. Is that, hey, look, he is just like you and me. Yeah, he may have a little bit of a deficiency towards some things, but you just give him a chance to prove that he can do it. And I found the chemistry between Shia LaBeouf and Zach Gottsagen unbelievably charming, unbelievably great. Shia puts in a performance. I was just it just took the breath out of me. How great of a performance he pulled in this film. It's just altogether the whole cast fell into place. Unfortunately, we only get to see a little bit of just in flashbacks John Berthel, and we don't really know what really happened to him. We get peppered with story parts. I'd like to know a little bit more about that background between the characters. That's the only real flaw, but I don't even count that as a flaw. It's just because it's such a great piece of work, great artistry, great cinematography. Everything about it is fabulous. Just watch it. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go watch it. If you see it on VOD, watch it on VOD. Pick it up at the Redbox. Just watch the damn film because it's that good of a movie. And I'm just going to tell you what I have, and it's no surprise. 5 Snowflakes. This is one of my top films so far of the year. And if they don't get anything, I'm going to riot. I'm going to riot.
I'm going to go a little bit below you. I'm going to go 4.5. We're not far off on this one either. I thought, like I said earlier, it got a little schmaltzy here and there where it was a little bit past believability towards the end at some points. That's kind of where it threw me a little bit. But other than that, as you mentioned, the Berthel thing. But, I'm 4.5 still a damn good score, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, the next film that we're going to talk about, we're changing gears. We're going from a serious drama to a farcical comedy in which it just brings out all the fun of what it was like to be in 6th grade, but a little bit more edgier for most of us. It's called The Good Boys. 3 6th grade boys ditch school and embark on an epic journey while carrying accidentally stolen drugs, being hunted by teenage girls, and trying to make their way home in time for a long-awaited kissing party. This stars Jacob Tremblay, Keith L. Williams, Brady Noon, Little Ray Howery, and Will Forte, just to name a few. I laughed a lot in this film. I just love the Little Ray, and I believe it's Keith Williams' is his son, who plays his son, I believe. I don't have the pictures in front of me. I'm pretty bad, and if I do, I forgive me. But just alone, I think the funniest line to me is that he finds out that he's going through a divorce. It's one of the traumatic things that happened in this film, and the kid is just sitting there, and his dad and his mom are sitting at the dinner table saying, "Now we're going to have 2 Taco Tuesdays," and of course, Little Ray character goes, "Well, technically it'll be on Wednesday, but we'll have 2," and I just thought that to me, it's how parents cope during a divorce with a child, of how they go about it. I thought to me that was funny. There's a lot of other great gaffes and a lot of lowbrow humor, but I think that's where I am most of my life anyway. Larry Merchant shows up as well. It's not Larry Merchant. What's his name? Merchant. He buys the real dog. Steven Merchant. Larry Merchant's the best. You know what? Larry Merchant's the boxing coordinator from a long time ago. I think he's dead now. Okay. But anyway, what do you got for me, Jordan, on this one? I found this a good romp.
Good old Larry Merchant. Steven Merchant is funny in his like scene and a half. No, I like this one a lot actually. What's funny is to kind of spoil the rest of the reviews. We're only going downhill from here. It's another good review of mine. Everything else is going to start to dip here now. But this one I really enjoyed, man. We had the female Superbad and Booksmart. Now we got the younger kid version now, which you can tell from this being produced by Seth Rogen. You might have seen him in some advertisements.
The Red Man trailer.
She's saying, "Hey kids, the movie's coming out. By the way, you can't watch it. Your own movie." And it's funny. Jacob Tremblay showing another cute, funny side of himself in here. The other 2 kids, super funny. He said maybe Keith Williams. I'm not too sure what his name is.
Yeah, Keith Williams and Brady Noon are the 2 kids.
I think Keith Williams steals some of the scenes that he's in when he's screaming at the end. Just every time something happens. There's a lot of good amounts of laughs throughout this to keep you entertained throughout the entire runtime. And I really enjoyed it. I'm going to go ahead and give it a solid, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 snowflakes.
I'm not too far from you. And by the way, Keith O. Williams, we were right on the money.
Yeah.
We knew our cast.
Well, that was, honestly, it was just a measure of elimination. I knew it's not Tremblay.
There's 3 different
And Brady Noon sound like the white kid.
Yeah, well, okay, fine. I didn't think that, but I was just trying to remember in my brain of how I remember in the cast. But, I come close. We come close, but we're not going too far. I'm going 3.5 snowflakes.
So we flip-flopped.
Yeah, we flip-flopped.
Now I'm above and you're below.
Yeah, but I gotta tell you, go watch it if you just want something to do on a Friday night, Saturday night, any night of the week, and you want to laugh, go watch it. But the next one,
I know. I can look in the order.
I'm sorry, most of them, yeah. Sometimes they go in order, sometimes they go in order.
So we got a sequel here. We got Angry Birds #2. Red, Chuck, Bomb, and the rest of their feathered friends are surprised when a green pig suggests that they put aside the differences and unite to fight a common threat. Aggressive birds from an island covered in ice are planning to use an elaborate weapon to destroy the fowl and swine way of life. You got the voices of Peter Dinklage, Jason Sudeikis, Danny McBride, Bill Hader, Aquafina, Sterling K. Brown, Leslie Jones, Eugenio Derbez, Nicki Minaj, Pete Davidson, Tiffany Haddish, Maya Rudolph, Josh Gad, Gain Matazzaro, and Little Ro Howard. Little Ro popping up 2 in a row.
And Bill Hader as well. He's in this one, so.
Oh yeah, Bill Hader, big weekend.
It's big summer for both of those 2. I had to make sure Little Ray got his deal.
So I know we had to see this. We get it for free at Regal. Yeah. We had the triple play offer. I went in. I came out with the same exact feeling that I figured I would go in. I thought this thing was fine. It's colorful. There are some laughs. There are some failed laughs as well. And it's going to be pretty forgettable probably in a couple weeks here. What do you think?
I forgot about it already, but,
Yeah, true. When I say that, it's been a couple weeks and I have forgotten a lot about it.
But, I did find some of it, as you said. Some of it was funny. I think the little chicks were funny. When they were trying to get the eggs.
Side mission from them.
Yeah, they have a little side, they lost eggs, they got to find them. And we don't know how that's going to turn out, but you got to watch it. It's just great for that little tiny fun. That made me laugh the most out of the whole film. And I saw this one by myself in a theater, all by myself.
I saw it with my niece.
And I got to tell you, it was fair, like I said, and like you said, it was serviceable. If you wanted to bring your kids to it, it'll hold their attention. As you said, it was colorful. It was kind of it had jokes for everybody. It's just a lot more misses than hits. But I'm gonna. What did you give it? Here,
I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna give it 2.5.
You know what? I hate to agree with you, but I agree with you. You son of a gun. I agree. 2.5 is what I have.
Hate to agree.
And I hate it. Oh, it hurts. It toasts it burns my cookies. But the next movie, we're going to go with animation. Animation, again, we're sticking with this. It's an adaptation of the Batman Hush storyline. It's called Hush. That's the name of the movie. Woo, isn't that nice? By Joseph Loeb and Jim Lee. A mysterious villain uses Catwoman, Riddler, Poison Ivy, and several Batman others enemies and allies in a game to create chaos in Batman's life, story the voices of Jason O'Mara, Jennifer Morrison, Stuart Allen, Peyton List, Sean Marr, Jeffrey Arend, Jerry O'Connor, Rebecca Romaine, Rainn Wilson, and Jason Sisbeck. And I gotta tell you, very good. This movie was just so good. They deviated from the comic just enough. So if you read the comic, and you thought it was going to go a certain way, they pull a rug underneath you. But the way they did it was just, to me, awesome. Because it just, the way I can't really ruin the turn and the little twist at the end. But I just thought it played better this way. The character that turns out to do it was worth the idea. And, and like I said, it has everybody in it, from Catwoman to the Riddler, has Superman in it, Lois Lane. There's a scene where basically they're trying to get Superman out of the trance. And it's just a great scene where Catwoman, basically, Batman just tells Catwoman, just threaten to throw Lois off the building, and she just throws her off just chucks her off like there's no business. And he goes, how'd you know he was going to break out? She goes, yeah, I didn't. It's just, the chemistry, I know they're just cartoons, but the chemistry and the voice acting of Jennifer Morris and Jason O'Mara, you can just see it's palatable, the way it was drawn. Great chemistry with just the feeling and the emotions that they bring to the roles, and I enjoy it so much. But at the end of the day, it's probably one of my favorite newest Batmans. I know I've kind of talked it up a lot more than what I'm going to give it, but again, if you've seen the Gaslight, or if you've seen all the other ones that they've brought out, they're a Batman ninja movie, things like that. It's not as good as Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but for getting the canon almost right for once, and it being continuity, the continuity alone is well worth watch. So I give it 3.5 snowflakes. I know, you thought I was probably giving it a 4.5, 5. But again, I just love the animation. I love the voice work.
I thought the twist in your review was better than the twist in the movie. The
Absolutely,
fact that I love how in your reviews I can never predict where you're going.
You never know.
The greatest film of all time. I cried. I'm gonna name my first son after the lead character. 2 stars.
Yeah, see, we're on the same map.
The biggest piece of shit ever. 4.5. No.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
no, I understand. But yeah, I just love the animation in it, and I love the comic anyway. If you read the comic, I'm just a big Batman fan anyway, but so I get excited anytime I talk, even though it might be the worst, because I could have done the Batman Ninja last year, and I would have been like, wah, but it was still awful. That was really awful. But we got a next one.
Can I now talk about Hush?
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't know. You didn't tell me this. You didn't tell me. Go for it. What did you give me?
No, this is why I was saying I liked your twist better than the twist in the movie.
Ah.
I'm just in the middle of the road on this one, buddy. I cannot totally share, although my score's not going to be that far off from your score. No, I was okay with the twist, but I felt like the build-up was a lot better than the payoff. I just thought this one was middle of the road. I enjoyed the Superman scene, but other than that, there's some good stuff with Catwoman. But yeah, I was entertained, but I never felt like this really reached that next level of entertainment or of deepness. There's definitely, as you said, maybe it's one of the better newer ones, but probably not. I mean, I would probably say Judas Contract or Even Son of Batman is as good as this.
Well, that was Son of Batman was a long time ago compared
Was
to...
it?
Yeah, it was more like about 3 or 4 years ago.
I don't know about that.
It was about 3 years ago, if any. But
Maybe.
It's been a while. But Judas Contract is different because that's with the kids.
It was better made,
Teen Titans.
in my opinion.
I know, but I'm just saying with Batman as his lead, that...
But I'm going to give it a 3. I'm going to give it a 3.
I'm not going to fault you with that because, like I said, I would have given the Ninja one awfulness.
Well, Dutch, are you ready for this one?
What?
Are you ready for Ready or Not?
I don't know if I'm ready for this. Ready or not? I don't...
Well,
okay, fine, let's do it.
That weren't ready. Her name was Grace, and she couldn't be happy after she marries the man of her dreams at his family luxurious estate. There's just one catch. She must now hide from midnight until dawn, while her new in-laws hunt her with guns, crossbows, amongst other weapons. This one stars Samara Weaving, Adam Brody, Mark O'Brien, Henry Zerny, and Andy McDowell. Were you ready for this one, Dutch?
I was ready more than I think I was.
Okay, enough puns.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed this film. I was one of the only 3 that were hidden in the theater that night. You couldn't make it. But you went off to watch it.
That was a funny note. I literally didn't know you were inviting me to this. When you said, "Are you ready or not?" I literally took that as an "Are you ready or not?" and not as in "Do you want to see ready or not?"
Okay, that
so I was
was
like, "No, I'm not ready."
Oh, okay. So I thought, okay, well, fine. I'm gonna have to go. I already
By the
bought my
time I
ticket.
realized what movie you were seeing, I went, "No, don't go see that with me." Without me.
I already bought my ticket. I'm already in.
You were going to see Blinded by the Light or some other shit.
Well, I did see that night, so we'll talk about that one a little later. But no, let's go with you first on that one because.
You already kind of started touching upon it, man. This is a lot of fun. It's one of those movies that the trailer only seemed to have came out like a couple months ago, so it was kind of like, oh, that looks good, and it's almost here. Yeah. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I think Samara Weaving was fantastic in the lead role. Enough fun here. One of my gripes is, and I always hate saying this because I feel like you shouldn't knock it against the movie, but it does knock a little bit of the enjoyment, which is the trailer does give away multiple of the kills.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, you're kind of, as if someone walks in the room, you're literally going, she's about to bite it. Because you know it, because you've seen it already. Yeah. So the trailer gave away maybe a little bit too much, but it is fun. Even in the way they wrap it up, I was like, all right, well, they went there. It's pretty interesting. So I liked that. I thought it was pretty decent fun.
Yeah, with you, even Adam Brody in this film was actually...
Brody's great, yeah.
He was very good in this, following up his Shazam role in a major movie. But yeah, Samara Weaving, when I first saw her, I didn't know who she was. I thought it was like a Margot Robbie at first.
Yeah, who was that? Sarah Robbie?
I was like, who is that? I think they got the name wrong. Then I had to look, and I was like, oh, okay, she's English or I think Australian or one of those as well. And I was like, okay, so they're just picking the ones who look alike now, to sell movies tickets. Andy McDowell's character is pretty good as well. Henry's Zerny is crazy as always. But yeah, I thought the movie was well paced. And like you said, though, the trailer really kind of, if you only watch one trailer, it probably blew most of the kills for you, or any of this other surprise scenes in a way. We've talked about that trailer is running amok, but I enjoyed this film. Made me laugh throughout it. There's so many scenes, and I don't want to ruin it because those are scenes that you did not see in the film trailers. So, but yeah, I'm going to give it 4 snowflakes. What about you?
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go slightly less. I'm going to go 3.5 again.
Okay, you're just being obstinate now.
That's what I got to listen here, man. Like I said, I had some fun with it. It's not groundbreaking for the most part, that first half. Yeah. It does get a little interesting towards the end there. But no, like I said, good fun. Definitely worth checking out. If you like a little bloody mess, check it out now. Or when you can on DVD and Blu-ray and digital and all that jazz.
Hey, this next movie, you saw this. I did not see it. The movie we're going to talk about next, you are going to talk about next, is called Fast Color. Haunted by mysterious forces, a young woman who has supernatural abilities must go on the run. When her powers are discovered, with nowhere else to go, she flees back to her family and the farmhouse she abandoned long ago. There, while being pursued by the local sheriff, she begins to mend the broken relationships she's had with her mother and her daughter, and learns that the power she needed was, of course, inside of her all along. This has, oh my gosh, I'm going to ruin this one, starring Gugu Mbatha-Raw.
Not that bad.
Lorraine Toussaint.
No.
Sanaya Sidney.
I don't know anymore.
And David Stratham.
Well, you've known him. He's in a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm just bad with names. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think I did the Goo Goo one pretty well. So, but what do you think about this film? Because it's like a superhero movie, right? Almost.
Yes, it's almost like an origin tale. Something that I can compare it to. In a way, I can compare it to a movie I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. But compare it to kind of, did you see Slight a couple years ago?
No.
So Slight was another one about a young kid that's kind of discovering his power. So this obviously is an independent budget, so it's a bit of a smaller scale and it's a lot slower at times. There's she moves back in with her mom, for instance, Lorraine Toussaint. That's Gugu's Mabata Ra's mom, and there's definitely it takes a while to get going, but not necessarily in a bad way because you are for once unlike a movie that feels like we got to have an action scene here, and here. It takes time to really develop these characters, the family setting, and everything going on here. And this was recommended from Mark Bernardin, who I'm a big fan of. He's a writer, and he's Kevin Smith's podcast co-host on Fat Man on Batman. And he talked about this was a fun, really kind of underseen movie.
Yeah,
and if you like kind of the superhero genre, check this out. You know what I mean? It's a different kind of take on it to a degree.
I think it was Gugu Mabeth Raw who wrote this. I believe she wrote this, or was it Toussaint? I can't remember. One of these ladies wrote it.
I don't think that's true.
And I believe it is. Let's Google it. Let's find out. But because I know one of them did, and she starred in it, or maybe not. I don't know.
I don't think so.
But yeah, I listened to this an interview with the creator of this movie on NPR, and I was kind of wanting to watch it. So I might have to watch it now. A little bit more. It's on Hulu, if I'm not mistaken now.
Oh, I don't know. I told you, I think on the show previously, Netflix was like, hey, remember we still ship DVDs? So I was like, sure, ship me some DVDs. No, yeah, you are indeed
wrong as always.
I say this nicely, wrong.
I'm always wrong.
Julia Hart.
I'm sorry, yes.
Co-wrote this with her husband and directed this by herself. Yeah. And someone who's very listen to the director's commentary a little bit, and
I apologize.
She's very big on doing female tells, you know what I mean, which is another important thing for her.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, so I'm glad that you liked it. What was your stars quote on this one?
I'm gonna go ahead. I've been flip flopping between 3.5 and 4. I'm gonna give it 4, just especially in a way of saying, hey, go out, see this. It came out at a time. I think it came out literally in theaters wise around Avengers.
Yeah,
so.
It did, because I did listen to the director on the way home, listen to Fresh Air or something, and they were talking about the empowerment of women, and this is what that show's about. And so, yeah, so 4, you gave it a 4.
I'm going to give it a 4. I really dug it, man. As I said, it's not the most exciting film you're going to find, but it has some interesting concepts, great female performances. Well, speaking of stuff that I know you love, and that's Mr. Gerard Butler.
Oh, he's my dream boat.
So let's talk about the third one. Can you believe this is a trilogy?
I'm hoping for a quadrilogy.
No, you would. Angel Has Fallen. Authorities take Secret Service agent Mike Banning into custody for the failed assassination attempt of U.S. President Alan Trumbo. After escaping from his captors, Banning must evade the FBI and his own agency to find the real threat to the president. Desperate to uncover the truth, he soon turns to unlikely allies to help clear his name and save the country from imminent danger.
As always.
Starring Morgan Freeman, Jada Pinkett Smith, Piper Perabo, Lance Reddick, Tim Blake Nelson, Danny Houston, with Nick Nolte, and I think Gerard Butler's in this, right?
Yeah, I think Gerard Butler shows up in this film somewhere. Again, I'm enthralled by these movies. I don't know why. They just make me happy to watch. But here's the good thing about this film. Gerard Butler even shows in this film, even with the commentary of what's going on, that he's getting too old. And he knows he is. In this film, he's like, I'm old. I'm 50 almost. I can't, I can't...
Wait, does he actually say the line, I'm old?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And when he's talking to Morgan Freeman, who has probably the most comfy role ever in this movie, he's in a coma through most of it. So, he's the coolest president. He just sleeps through it, But then he comes up and saves the day as well. But yeah, I found that... the film, I didn't even know that was Jada Pinkett Smith, to be honest with you, when I looked at her. I was like, who is she? She looks familiar. I think she's had... I know shouldn't be part of the review, but I think she's had work done or something, because she looks so different now than what she used to. And so I don't know. That's just my opinion. But the performances by Nick Nolte is pretty good. He made me laugh a lot. He's...
Let me guess, Dutch. Does he play kind of a gruff character?
He's a gruff character in this film. He's a man who goes off the grid. He abandoned his family. He has a great speech about the Vietnam War, about what it does to a man to go to war.
I heard that was improvised.
And it was just an unbelievable. If it was, then hats off to him. It was a very good scene.
He wasn't even supposed to be in the movie. They literally found him in the woods while shooting.
Yeah, is that what they did?
Oh, you film.
Yeah. And he's like, "Hey, how you doing there?" But yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it looked like Gerard Butler kind of enjoyed working with Nick Nolte in these scenes. Tim Blake Nelson plays the Weasley vice president. Everyone, he plays a good weasel-looking character. Not any Tim Blake Nelson, but he plays that. And Piper Perabo again just shows up as the wife, and they don't give her much to do.
Oh yeah, she is the wife in those, right?
Yeah, they don't do much for her. And Lance Reddick is just who he is in most movies.
Piper, you're just worried again.
Yeah, and Danny Houston as well. But yeah, I got to tell you this.
Hey, where's Aaron Eckhart?
What?
What the hell happened to Aaron Eckhart?
He was the old president. He left.
Oh, it's just no mention.
Yeah. They don't even talk about him anymore. After London fell, I think it was like I'm done. I'm done with this shit. I'm done with it. But I did miss him. But we got Morgan Freeman who sleeps. But
what about Jamie Foxx and Channing Tatum? Oh, wrong movie.
Oh, that's the right. Well, it comes close. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie as always. But again, I'm going to be realistic with my ratings, okay? Because guilty pleasures shouldn't rate high in your life, but it's a 3. I gave it 3 snowflakes. I think that's the best you can do with this film. If I went higher, you'd probably have to put me on you got to commit me, okay? Because I couldn't go any higher than 3. But again, I enjoy these. Even if they came out tomorrow and say, you know what, somebody else has fallen, a hip has fallen and broken.
Somebody else has fallen.
I'm in. I don't care. Gerard Butler, you got my money. So, and by the way, Den of Thieves 2, that's still in the works, and it might be coming out, I think, next year sometime.
Whatever. So,
we got the next movie we're going to roll on. Oh, wow. Do you want me to go ahead and do this? Because it's mine. It's Blinded by the Light. So, you go ahead and read that if you want, or I can read it. It's a lot of bad names. I can't say the cast names, so good luck to that. If you want to read it to the audience, but
I'll try.
Yeah, go ahead and read that for me if you wish. Blinded by the Light is our next film.
I'll read the premise. Oh, sorry, hey, I'm awake.
Yeah, wake up, buddy.
Blinded by the Light, inspired by a true story based on Sarah Faraz Manzoor's acclaimed memoir "Greetings from Bury Park." Race, religion, and rock and roll comes a joyful story of courage, love, hope, family, and the unique ability of music to lift the human spirit. The film's the story of Javeed, a British teen of Pakistani descent growing up in the town of Luton, England in 1987. 3 years before I was born. Amidst the racial and economic turmoil of the times, but when a classmate introduces him to the music of Bruce Springsteen, Javeed sees parallels to his working class life in the powerful lyrics. As Javeed discovers a cathartic outlet for his own pent-up dreams, he also begins to find the courage to express himself in his own unique voice. Starring Vivek Kara, Kulvinder Gur, Meera Ganatra, Nell Williams, Aaron Pugra, Haley Atwell, and Dean Charles Chapman. I think those last two were pretty good.
I think you did pretty well. This movie, I wanted to watch this. That was the night that I actually watched Ready or Not and Blinded by the Light. I watched both of them that night. And Blinded by the Light, it just made me speechless. It was that good. Believe it or not, if you're not a fan of Bruce Springsteen, like his music,
then you're not American.
No, it's not going to be that. But if you're not a big fan of Bruce Springsteen music, you're probably not going to like it. But the story itself is very heartfelt, and you can feel that because you and I, we come from a working family. And we know what it's like to work, and we know what it's like to be out there every day, and just not seem sometime to get somewhere. And and that's the way they felt back in the 80s, in '87 when they had to cut jobs. It was like a bad recession in Britain. It's the worst time that Britain's ever seen. And that's whenever they all of a sudden started picking on the Pakistanis who moved in. And so they're saying, they're the reasons why we're having issues. They're the reasons. So it's almost like similar.
South Park.
It's almost like similar.
Yeah.
and it's almost like similar to how people are reacting with other foreign people coming in our country today. So it has a lot of parallels about what it was and what it is, and a lot of great topics you can go through. But the story, though, really does focus on Havid, and the character played again by Vivek Kara was just a great part. And again, you told me you didn't want to watch it because there'd be a lot of singing. There was no real singing. There was one song. There was a one sing song where everybody at the park did sing the song to this girl that he loved. And but then it just everyone else was like, okay, let's get back to work. We're cool. So it was like a cool deal that we saw. Go watch it. If you have a chance, get it on VOD if you haven't seen it in the theater. It's about 3 almost hours, 2.5 hours long or so, but it's very good. If you didn't get the Bruce Springsteen catalog, you'll get that through that movie. And there was days that I kept singing the songs in my head, because it just it's almost like a brainwashing of Bruce Springsteen in my head. But I enjoyed it very much. Probably one of my best films of the year as well, nominees. I'm going to go with 5 stars, 5 snowflakes on this.
Oh! That was a surprise.
To me, my friend, the acting, the story, everyone in it actually teared me up in the end as well, because it's such a sweet father-son moment in this film. There's a father-son moment that just makes me like, oh my God, because this father realized that he's been holding back his son the whole time.
Oh.
And he goes off and he just wants his son to be happy at the end of the day, and that's all any father wants, their son to be happy. And it made me tear up.
You sold me, buddy. 5 stars. I'm gonna have to say that just jumped up on my my queue.
It's very well worth the watch. Go ahead, get out there, watch it, have fun with it.
Maybe tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah, do it. Just do it. Don't even think about it. Just rip the Band-Aid off.
Back off.
The next film we got. Excuse me, my gosh. It's called Where'd You Go, Bernadette? Former architect Bernadette Fox seems to have it all. A beautiful home in Seattle, a successful and loving husband, and a brilliant teenage daughter who's about to attend a boarding school. When Bernadette suddenly disappears without a trace, her concerned family sets off an exciting venture to solve the mystery of where she might have gone. Starring Cate Blanchett, Kristen Wiig, Billy Kudrup, Lawrence Fishburne, and Emma Nelson. What are your thoughts?
I kind of want to hear your thoughts, because I'm a little torn on this.
I want to hear yours, because I got to rest my pipes for a second.
Yeah, that's true. This is from Richard Linklater, right?
Yes.
Richard Linklater. I'll be talking about later on in a different way. Richard Linklater, man, his films are all over the place sometimes. This is definitely one of the more, I don't want to use the word boring, but it kind of was to me to a degree. I just didn't feel like this film ever really...
Can I interject something? I know you... Yeah. It just... The description I read seemed more exciting than the movie that we saw. And you and I were wanting to watch it. I think that was our double feature one night. We watched the double feature.
Yeah, was that our second one too?
Yeah, that was one of our second feature movies that we saw that night. But go ahead, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to say that this seemed more exciting than the movie itself.
No, it does, because it sets up this premise, and they were able to explain it, I guess, but in more of a boring way. And yeah, I just really feel like this film just never reached that next level of making me care for anyone enough. I mean, you have good actors. I mean, Cate Blanchett's fantastic, one of my favorites.
Billy Kudrup is in it.
And yeah, you see, supporting from Kristen Wiig and Steve Zahn's in it for a millisecond, and yeah, I don't know, man. I just think they took a simple tale and tried making a film about it, and yeah, you got the film, and not much to be really had here.
Yeah, I agree. There was like Emma Nelson, she plays the daughter. She actually stands out in that film for me as the only one who you think you should even care about, because Billy Kudrup's character, who's the husband, really is not that loving toward her. It seems like, in a way, he seems like he turns on a dime really quick when he thinks that she's insane. Let's put her in a home for the insane. I don't understand the whole dynamics of it most of the time. Kristen Wiig, do I like her? Do I love her? I don't know. The character is at least bipolar as much as the title character. So I can't really give it a high score. I'm with you. It's a mess of a film. It really is. It doesn't have a tone, and if it does have a tone, it doesn't know what to sing when it does. So
this will not be another 5-star review, I'm guessing.
this is not a 5-star. This is not going to shock anybody. I gave it because I liked some of the performances. I 2.5 is as high as I can go, and that's being very, very gracious with the film, I believe. I think maybe because they shot it maybe on location somewhere, I gave it some that point. But Lawrence Fishburne's character, when he came into the cafe, that kind of helped out to understand what kind of character Cate Blanchett's character is supposed to be, Bernadette. So that kind of shed a little bit of light to me about some of the character, but not a lot. But again, Emma Nelson was my breakout in that show. But 2.5 is all I can give it.
I'm going to go ahead and say 2.5 too. I don't want to oversell how bad it is. There are a couple moments, as you mentioned, I would probably agree, probably the best moments are with the daughter and the mom, Nelson and Blanchett. And like I said, I just overly just thought it was a little, I hate to say, directionless.
Yeah, so it's a ship that just has no rudder. The next story we have is
Scary stories to tell in the dark.
How dare you, scary stories? Anyway, you do this one. Yes.
The shadow of the Bellows family has loomed large in the small town of Mill Valley for generations. It's in a mansion that young Sarah Bellows turns her tortured life and horrible secrets into a series of scary stories. These terrifying tales soon have a way of becoming all too real for a group of unsuspecting teens who stumble upon Sarah's spooky home. Starring Zoe Margaret Coletti, Austin Abrams, Natty Gamzorn, Gabriel Rush, and you didn't finish this man's name. It literally just says, and Michael.
Well, everyone knows Michael, don't they?
I just noticed that on the notes.
I just noticed that
and
too.
Michael.
I apologize. We're going to give him some credit.
He might be like Madonna. Maybe it's just some dude out there named Michael.
I feel really bad. Michael Garza is who that is.
Michael Garza.
Yes, I apologize to Michael Garza that I just called him and Michael. Everyone knows Michael. He's in every film.
And Michael, Mikey.
Yeah, so, but yeah, this film, again, we watch these by ourselves. One day we're going to get the band back together. You know, we try it every day to get the band back. But yeah, it was okay. It was good.
That should be your sum.
Yeah, that should be this movie. No, it was a decent film. It wasn't great. I thought the characters were okay. They're one-dimensional, most of them. I didn't understand the blatant racism in this town. Really, I don't know what year it was set, because it was like, what's she doing in this town here? You know, I think it was in the 70s maybe, because there was a draft going on or something. But they really didn't tell me what year it was actually set, did they? I don't even...
2004. No, I don't know.
But yeah, it was like blatant racism toward the only Mexican in the whole town, you know, and to me, I just thought, okay, I'll go past that. Then we have a character we don't understand. Her mom abandoned her, and I don't understand the father's role, who was played by
Dean Norris.
Dean Norris, who also was in Breaking Bad. So I was sitting there, I was like, his character is way more than half-dimensional. They didn't even want to flush him out much. And I know it was all about the kids and all about the stories, but at the end of the day, it was a paint by numbers to me just to get to a sequel at this point. So, I'm changing my score that I have written down. I'm actually going to. I've actually thought about this more often. What did you think about this terrifying tale of stories?
I think I went in with the right expectations, so I walked out actually being, I don't want to say a little surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Not to say I loved it, because I'm not about to give it that big of a score. But, no, I liked the kids enough. I thought the leading actress, the main lady that we're talking about, the girl whose family is whatever.
Yeah, Zoe Clark.
I thought she was really good in it, actually. And I did kind of care about the group. And one thing, too, that I'll give it over some other horror movies, that are jump scares and whatnot, some decent, creature effects, and the way they go, I thought it was at least more interesting than just simply a slasher, or a ghost, or, The Grudge, or whatever. I at least enjoyed that, the way they use the scarecrow, and then later on you see another guy that's being haunted in his house by the big toe. Yeah, I thought it was actually kind of interesting.
Where did they go? I want to know where they went. I guess that's what the sequel's for.
Well, this is spoilers, man. We don't want to get another off-air fist fight.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I just have questions, man. There's tons more questions to be asked, and I don't really want to watch a sequel.
Yeah, you are right. It does very much leave off. I think literally in a car on the way to the sequel.
Yeah, they're like, they're driving off, going, well, I'm gonna go to the sequel,
See, in part 2, and I gotta feel like this is largely got greenlit just to be basically like, whoa, kids and scary stuff. They loved them in it, so let's do it.
And they love Guillermo del Toro, and he helped come up with some of the stuff. So
which is not surprising when I go back to the creatures. I wonder if he had a hand in that at all.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna give it 3. I think it's worth checking out if you like these kinds of films. It's not gonna set your world on fire, but I think it's a decent time.
I had 3, but the more I thought about it, 2.5. I could go.
I gotta go.
I just went down a half. It's not too bad.
I'm going to give that extra point over stuff like Bernadette and other stuff because I think this at least knows what it is, it gets there, and it accomplishes that.
Yeah, I agree, but I just was not fully entertained by it. And the next movie we have one more for me, and then the rest is going to be you.
19 more.
Thank God. This one is called Plus One. It is basically this is the greatest synopsis of a film. It's longtime singles agree to each other be each other's plus one. At every wedding they are invited to. The main character is Jack Quaid. You might know Jack Quaid off of The Boys, breakout series on.
He's the human, right?
Yeah, he is. Oh,
that's right. It's Quaid and Quaid and Meg Ryan's kid.
I can't answer that because I have no idea.
Yeah,
I don't want to go. Hey, I've already gone on the limb and I already got something wrong once tonight. And we also have.
My favorite still your big show.
Maya Erskine. Yeah. Maya Erskine as well. You can actually watch this movie on Hulu. Or you can pick it up on Vudu as well.
Now, you didn't give any co-starring credit. Well, I will, though.
No, there's not that many that you can...
I disagree.
No, not that many. I'm just saying.
Disagree.
I went with the main 2. The only 2 that are usually shown in all of them.
Every other premise you give, you listed 40 people. This movie doesn't get at least a couple.
Okay, you go ahead.
Begley Jr.
Oh, yeah, he forgot. He plays the dad.
Shut up, let me finish.
No. I said Begley. He plays the father.
Beck Bennett, Rosalind Chow, Perry Reeves, Finn Wittrock, and John Bass, and Maya Kazan. Boom.
There you go. I apologize to all those people, especially Ed Begley Jr., who actually makes me laugh a little bit in this film.
Beck Bennett didn't make you laugh?
Huh?
Beck Bennett?
No, he didn't do much of that. He didn't do much of that film. But I gotta tell you, this movie is a good rom-com. You know me and rom-coms. Love them. And at first I was like, oh, it's gonna go away. It's gonna somehow peter out somewhere. And it just got even better. As it looked like it was about to die, it kind of surged back. It's like the waves hitting the beach, back and forth. And you're like, what are these characters going to do for each other? Why can't he see that he loves her? Why can't she see that she loves him? Why? And this is what we all think about when we watch these movies. And I got to tell you, watch it. Get it. It's on Hulu, for Christ's sake. 99% of America probably has Hulu, I think.
That's not true.
I'm not good with statistics. I'm not being fact-checked. Go ahead and do it.
I don't have Hulu.
But Hulu is on there and it's free, since you got that subscription. But Plus One
I don't have Hulu.
is just a great story of 2 people who are friends who basically don't know love until they notice they're in love with each other in their face. So Plus One, 3.5 snowflakes.
Wow.
That's very good. Very good movie.
You love some rom-coms.
I love rom-coms. I can't help it. And there's more out there that I really want to watch, and I haven't had a chance to. But I'm going to take a voice break, and I'm going to let you, please, sir, do the voice talking for a second.
All right, man. I'm going to ramble off 4 films that I've seen recently from recent times. My first one here is it's one of the older ones on this list. It's Blaze. It's directed and co-written by Ethan Hawke, of all people. I'm a real Ethan Hawke guy recently. Yeah. It's a reimagining of the life and times of Blaze Foley, the unsung song-written legend of the Texas outlaw music movement. This stars Ben Dickey in his performance debut, for a film anyway. Fantastic performance. Aaliyah Shawkat, Josh Hamilton, Charlie Sexton, Sam Rockwell, Steve Zahn, and Richard Linklater acting.
Really?
Yeah. Not much. They all play the kind of like pop-up later as like executives.
But you forgot. Did you say Chris Christopherson?
I did not say him.
You should.
Because listen here, okay. Let me literally line for line repeat his whole role here.
Do it.
Hello. Got any cigarettes?
Oh my God.
Do you got any cigarettes? That was beautiful. That was beautiful. The end.
Wow. That's powerful.
Where's my Oscar?
Gravitas right there. There's a lot of gravitas in that place, though.
I gotta imagine they shot where he lives, because, like, otherwise, like, a plane ride for that role was not worth it.
He's like, hey, Blade. Remember that? Remember we used to be Blade's sidekick?
Yes, it's not. I mean, I like Chris Christopherson, and I'm friends with his son, although you hate his son.
Oh, his son and I don't get along at all. His son and I do not like each other. We're fine. We're fine with that.
His son doesn't know you exist.
I don't care. He knows I exist because I don't like him. So.
The reason I'm talking about this, because it was a 2018 release, although it's just now starting to get out there more. So
well, that's fine.
Because I absolutely loved it, and I wanted to talk about it. Ben Dickey, they said, he's only been in this and The Kid recently with Ethan Hawke. Fantastic performance here. Him and Elia Shawkat, who's maybe on Arrested Development, who I'm also a big fan of. Their relationship, the story of this about, that Rill just kind of, he's got, as he says in the movies, he's got his demons, and he's trying to battle it. Just say it on the air.
Oh, do you have one of those in the fridge?
Yeah. Go grab one.
Yeah.
Go grab one as a yak, and bring me another one.
Okay, cool.
I just thought this was a great tale of art battling love, battling, you know what I mean, your demons. I've really dug it here. Great direction as well. It looks good. There are times where, I could see some people saying it's slow because they really focus on the music and them just kind of being together at times. And so I loved it. I'm going to give it 4 stars. I think it's well worth checking out. And the ending actually that was kind of interesting too. It wraps up, I thought, on a interesting, funny level. Next up, El Chicano, which is a pair of twin brothers from East LA choose to live their lives differently and on opposite sides of the law. This one has Raul Castillo, Jose Cantillo, George Lopez, Marco Rodriguez, amongst others. I was saying I was going to kind of mention this one earlier when I was talking about Fast Color, because this is another one that is kind of an origin tale. El Chicano is basically he's the vengeance guy that goes after people that are ruining the neighborhood. And he takes you out violently, kind of Punisher style. He isn't Batman. He's not about to put you in jail. He's going to take you out completely Punisher style.
He's going to just read you the riot act and kill you.
He's not going to read anything to you. Oh, no, he might. He does say I think it's something before he stabs you.
At least he's a gentleman about it.
So this one was interesting. I don't like it as much as Fast Color because I hate to say not all the acting and moments I thought were fully realized upon.
Like George Lopez, he's a... How'd he do?
I thought he was fine. He's basically the local cop who you see kind of throughout it here and there. I thought he was perfectly fine. I should have minded him as an actor. I watched another movie, River Runs Red, where his kid gets killed, and he's actually I think a little bit of a gangster in that one. And again, he's fine. He can actually carry a role if he has to. I really do think so.
I'm just not very familiar with his other works.
That is true. No, check him out. He's been in a few things. And I thought it was a cool concept, kind of a different world you don't get to see. And I think with a bigger budget and maybe again, like I hate to say it, if it was another level, I thought it could have been really great with a slightly bigger budget for some of the effects that you see throughout the movie. Maybe it's slightly different casting here and there and a tighter script because there's just stuff with like. You almost forget he has a girlfriend at one point. She pops up and you're like, oh yeah, and am I supposed to care about this? I don't really know. But I'm going to give that one 3 stars. Although it was still a pretty good, interesting movie. Now, less interesting. What Men Want. Magically able to hear what men are thinking, a sports agent uses her newfound ability to turn the tables on her overbearing male colleagues. You got Taraji P. Henson, Tracy Morgan, Aldous Hodge, Wendy Covey, Josh Brenner, Max Greenfield, Kellen Lutz, Mark Cuban, Shaquille O'Neal, and Jason Jones.
Hey everybody, I'm Shaquille O'Neal. I was in that show, we were playing poker, and I thought that movie was the greatest of all time. Better than Shazam, I think, right? Or that was it Steel? I don't even remember the movies. Kazam. Kazam's the movie I was in. See,
I wish I was in Shazam.
I wish I was in Shazam. No, I'm just sorry. I'll leave you guys alone, but thanks for watching my only movie I put out this year. Bye, Shaq.
Yeah,
bye.
That was really weird.
That was just strange.
It didn't even really sound like you, but okay.
He sounds like it. I don't know why he came in, but he did. He just did. I don't know. Damn Shaq. We're not in the other studio, but he shows up here. What's that?
Oh yeah, I wish we had it on film. So
yeah,
people would believe us.
No one's gonna believe us.
So he's in the poker scene. You knew that?
Yeah. They ruined it in the trailer. So therefore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's part of just, whenever you see a movie like this, that's one of the many problems is you have Shaq, you have Mark Cuban. There even might have been other people in the scene. I don't even remember. I threw that in from heart because I just remember going, oh, Shaq and the Shark Tank guy.
Yeah.
They don't really know what to do with him. And I even remember hearing some of the commentary, like they had him for 5 hours. It's like, yeah, 5 hours, and that's what you got out of him, No, this thing kind of had what I was afraid of from reading the reviews. It just kind of goes lowest common denominator to a degree. It reminded me a little bit of that movie Little, as far in they're trying to shoehorn in a little bit of emotion here, but Little I thought did it better because here I just didn't believe or care when they tried to shoehorn in the emotion here. It felt kind of second thought. It's R-rated, which I thought. Obviously, I'm cool with an R-rated comedy, but I just thought it didn't really work here, and you don't really like her from the get-go to a degree, so outdated gay jokes. I don't know.
Can I ask you this? I heard that the gay is really stereotypical gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's like 80s Friends gay, basically, back in the day.
Yeah.
Or 90s, early 90s gay.
Yeah, played by Josh Brenner from Silicon Valley.
Oh, geez.
Big head.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you this, though. If you had to choose what women want or what men want, which is a better film? I think probably the Mel Gibson one is a little better.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, a lot of people actually like that movie.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the movie either, but yeah, I would say it's definitely a more interesting... better at the hearts and the feels. You care a little bit of the relationship. So yeah, definitely that one. Yeah.
Okay. But so what you give this one? What you give it?
I'll be nice and give it 2 because there are some chuckles here. You know what I mean? There's a couple of scenes with her and some of the basketball guys, and Jason Jones is funny in a couple things. So it's all right. It's not a 1-star movie, but again, it's another movie where. Obviously, I waited a long time on Redbox to watch it, and I'm fine with that decision.
And it could have just been a movie that no one should have ever made at the same time. But
I didn't mind the idea. I mean, I more or less figured they would do this movie one day. Like, legitimately, I thought, oh, okay, they're going to do a men version one day.
Yeah.
And it took them a while. And I think even Dave Chappelle had a joke about that once upon a time, about how it would just be a movie of, vulgarities.
Yeah, that's all it should have been, probably. But
No, not always.
They tried to make us men more artistic. Yeah,
no, some of us are.
Yeah, what are we talking about? Yeah.
Movies.
Yeah.
Next movie, we've got The Public, an act of civil disobedience turns into a standoff with police and homeless people in Cincinnati.
Yes, I've been wanting to see this.
Taking over the public library to seek shelter from the bitter cold. You have Emilio Estevez, Michael Kenneth Williams, Alec Baldwin, Eric Baldwin, Taylor Schilling, Jenna Malone, Christian Slater, Jeffrey Wright.
Yes, I've been wanting to watch this, so tell me how it is. Tell me how this movie is.
So yeah, obviously Emilio doesn't do too much. He directed this, as I think he's directed the last couple of things he's either been in or made. I liked it. I definitely enjoyed the first half and the premise of this. It's basically Michael Kenneth Williams amongst many other men. Yeah, it's all men actually.
There's no women?
If I recall.
No homeless women?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's all men. Yeah, it is all men.
That's strange. Very strange.
And they're homeless, and every night they find someone else has died, if not more, because the shelters are filled up. And finally one night they make a stand and say, hey, who are you with, Emilio? Us or them? And Emilio, has grown to like them and stands up for them, and now he's got to deal with Christian Slater, who's running for mayor, and Alec Baldwin's police officer trying to get him, to back down.
And we know how Alec Baldwin is. He's just a bully.
He's a little he's got a little bit of character in this one though.
Okay,
because his son, for instance, is a runaway himself, and so he's got a bit of a backstory too.
Oh, okay.
But that's also one of the problems of this too, is that it feels like they touched upon a lot of things and didn't fully realize everything. Like the son conflict doesn't fully get realized upon with Alec Baldwin.
They don't flesh it out enough.
They don't flesh that out enough. They come across, they start digging up Emilio Estevez's past and find out he was homeless at one point.
Oh,
all of a sudden, there's a relationship with him and Taylor Schilling from Orange is the New Black that's just kind of starting. So it just seemed like a lot of plates in the air, and even the main subject itself of this homeless crisis it felt like, it's a nice movie of a chunk in time, but at the same time, it just felt like it never fully realized everything that it was setting up here.
They tried too hard, but at the end of the day, they kind of failed it.
Kind of. I think that's why it's going to fall under the radar, because it's a good film. I think a well-intentioned film to a large degree, but it doesn't really hit that level hard enough. So I'm going to give it 3. Yeah. It's
not my radar.
Bad film at all. It was on mine too. I think from seeing the trailer and seeing all these different character actors, Michael Kenneth Williams has a couple of really nice scenes in it. Emilio Estevez, I think, is a little too dour sometimes in this. He's not exactly, pumped up. But, I believe that was my last one. Oh, I wanted to talk to you about Dave Chappelle's
the Sticks and Stones. Yes.
That came out this week. I know you want to talk about Jim Gaffigan. I haven't seen that one yet. I did start Bill Burr's. It's pretty funny.
We'll hold off on those two until next time. Well, I can hold off on Jim if you get a chance to see Jim.
Okay.
Let's talk about
Chappelle. I thought he went over the line. It was controversial. Now I'm just playing.
I was about to stand up and slap you.
Be that guy.
No. I to me, this one I think was his best stand up at all. Other than the other two, the other two specials were okay. I think there were 2, right? 2, yeah. And this third special was, to me, out of the ballpark. It hit it hard, And I think Rogan. In his show, that he had, he actually touched upon how it shows that you can't trust Rotten Tomatoes. And I've always been one against Rotten Tomatoes, as you know. I'm always against them. But what they did early was basically make it look like no one liked it. They only let people who hated it. They only gave you 5 reviews. They didn't open it to the public until the actual people started noticing that, hey, you know what? Public needed to be a part of this. And then once they opened it up, 99% of America loves this movie or this loves this stand-up. And I'm not sure where the critics stand. Probably about 58%, I think now. But I'm just stating it was 99% of people who've watched it love it, and the only thing I could say is maybe they did it to make everyone want to watch it, But I wanted to watch it because I'm just a big Dave Chappelle fan, and I thought everything about it was hilarious. You can't get offended with comedy. You shouldn't be offended by comedy because comedians, as you know, are the ones to provoke thought, to provoke an idea, to say things that you're not really comfortable saying, because if he's saying it, there's like 5 other people out there who are probably thinking it, or maybe more. And so, like the type, like one of us is basically raising a child murderer, basically in our house, that could be, but, he's just bringing up the thought, and he puts it out there, even if you're part of the, if you didn't like the alphabet joke, quit being so sensitive anymore. Everyone's too sensitive anymore for comedy. Like the one we just had locally, the one stand-up comedian who basically he was of a Muslim descent, and he made a joke, and somebody called the cops on him about
Ahmed Ahmed.
Yeah, Ahmed Ahmed. Who said something about his cult or something like that, saying who wants to join Al Qaeda or whatever, and the guys got really crazed.
That's funny. Have you heard the call?
No, but I haven't heard the call. But he to me that's just overly sensitive about everything. And what is your thoughts on this one? Because I just think it was a great stand up.
Well, first of all, touching upon the Rotten Tomatoes thing, to play devil's advocate, as I love to play with you. Yeah. I'll disagree and agree with you. You can't trust it for stand-up comedy, and I think even for TV shows, because not that many, I think, are doing them. So yes, it had 0 or 1% good review or whatever it was.
It had 0 reviews, percentage out of 5. They only let 5.
Right. Okay.
The
so
most
5.
liberal.
That's not a big number, exactly. So,
but they put it out there as if everyone in the world did not like it.
Who did, though? They don't do anything.
You pick it up. No, I'm talking about the press. I'm talking after that.
Well, that's the press's fault. You can't blame Rotten Tomatoes for that.
But Rotten Tomatoes put it out there and said, hey, look, everybody, this is what they gave us. This is what they got. But they closed it to other people. They only gave certain critics the ability to get in. And those are the farthest left. But again, that's for another political show. That's another political show.
Well, you talked about it. I want to talk about it.
So. But no, I'm talking about my ideas about the political parts about it. But you can talk about the show. I'm talking about the show itself. But go ahead.
But no, I like this a lot. I would not say it's his best in my opinion because I thought some stuff wasn't fully realized upon, and also too, I thought some stuff was a bit of a retread. Some of the Michael Jackson stuff before he's touched upon before, and I think he's done it in a funnier way. Not to say this is any bad review at all. If I had to flake it, I'd say 4 out of 5. It's a great stand-up special.
4.5.
Some great uproarious laughs, and he is still just a great stand-up talker. control of the crowd, everything. So.
Did you like the epilogue, the black and white Q&A part of it? I thought that was more interesting as well. Him talking to people and getting, he reveals how he worked his jokes, and it's all true, and so I like that. It kind of pulled the veil back just a little bit on that. Do you have any other movies or any
no, just
specials?
We got that news, and that's about it, buddy.
Cool. And we also, I want to show us. I know you're not into it. I'm into it. I have a clip that I want to share with you about Downton Abbey, if that's fine with you. Because the movie's coming out. It's
not fine, but go ahead.
It's coming out everywhere September 20th. This clip basically is. In this clip, you're going to hear Thomas, played by the talented Robert James Collier, finding out he's being replaced by Carson, played by James Carter. Hugh Bonneville, who plays Robert Crowley, and also Michelle Dockery, who plays Lady Mary Crawley, started off. Basically, Thomas feels just rejected by the Crawley family. Here's a short clip of the upcoming, unbelievably great, I hear already, Downton Abbey.
Carson is going to move back into the house for the royal visit.
What? You are coming back here as butler, when I am the butler here?
Yes, that is...
Can I ask how long this has been planned, my lord?
Well, I wouldn't say it's been exactly planned.
Because I don't quite understand where it leaves me.
Well, you can be a sort of...
With your permission, I'd prefer not to be a sort of anything, my lord. I will surrender my position for the duration of the visit, if I must, and serve you again when their majesties have gone, if you so wish.
Please don't think...
By the way, the boiler's playing up and there's no hot water.
God, that's all we need.
Now, Barrow... Not to worry. The plumber will soon have it mended, my lady, and we'll bring water jugs up to the bedrooms tonight and in the morning. It can't be that hard. We did it for 300 years. Thank you, Carson.
That, I tell you, I can't wait for it. That movie is going to be so great.
And I actually, if I can play a clip, this is the first of review so far coming out on YouTube.
Okay, let's hear this.
Hold on.
Oh, you're a gentleman and a scholar, sir.
Okay, so I just thought,
yeah,
let's just be classy.
You're so classy. Keep it a classy there, always, Jordan, on this great show about shows. But you're not gonna hurt me because sticks and stones, like Dave Chappelle, they don't hurt me, brother. They don't hurt me at all. Because Downton Abbey's all what it's about, baby. Downton Abbey. But we got news and we got notes. So let's go ahead. News and notes time, brother. Tell me what's going on in this world we call entertainment.
Alright, man, just some quick notes here, so we're going to wrap up the show here pretty soon. If you've been watching the new Danny McBride show, Righteous Gemstones, with him, John Goodman, and Adam Devine, well, good news if you like it, because HBO has said we like it. Season 2's coming already, before Season 1's even halfway done.
Yeah, and I have seen it, the first episode anyway, and it's well worth the watch, my friend.
I'm doing. It's all right. He definitely makes unique television. They loved him for Eastbound and Down. They kept having him come back, I think twice after he said he was done, because they kept saying, "How about now?" and the present check. So they seem to love him at HBO.
Yeah.
Haley Atwell will be joining Mission Impossible 7.
Oh.
So Captain America's girls will be hanging out with Tom Cruise.
Can't wait.
For if you like the show, The Detour, well, I don't have good news for you because TBS has axed it after 4 seasons, and this one does hit me hard.
My brother's been making me watch this when I was up visiting just recently.
Did you start from the beginning?
No, I think the last season, the latest season when they're in Alaska or something, and whatever. I loved it. I love what I saw.
Well, I always did it because it is a story that I think serves best from the beginning.
Well, I did see some of it in the beginning, but I kind of left it because I didn't know how it was going to be, so I kind of left it. But then my brother's, he was watching it, and I just said, let me look at it. And every night I was like, can we watch the next episode, please? So
it was a good, storytelling
Just a funny
TV
show,
show.
brother.
And yeah, even from the beginning of the first show was about him, they're going on vacation, he's kind of hiding the fact that he's jobless, and it just gets crazier and crazier from there, man. He said this season, the first half was all about the daughter runs away, and they're trying to find the daughter, and I just thought this thing was very funny, unique. It starts, and it's good that you like this most recent season, because if I had to pick my least favorite seasons, probably was this season, just because I kind of felt like, okay, it's losing some of the uniqueness that the first
It might have been season
set up.
3. When did he come back from the crab fishing? I hate to ruin it for people. I'm just trying to figure out where
are they looking for the daughter? That's this season. Crab fishing was last season.
Okay, so it was last season I'm watching.
Oh, okay.
So therefore, I haven't watched this season, but what I saw was that whenever he comes back and he's getting
still
married,
good.
he's getting married, or supposedly, and he was
Yes.
very shocked.
Well, that's this season.
Yeah. This is
If he's getting married to a different girl, yeah.
No. It's the wife that he had with the 2 kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like I said, it's probably season 3, but
Anyway, we're getting lost in the weeds here.
yeah, we always do.
They're
in this
not
show.
coming back, which is sad, because once again, something that they was very good about was setting up next season, and they very freaking much set up next season in the finale.
Maybe they'll be nice and bring them back for an episode or 2. Or maybe Hulu will bring it back.
That's the only hope, but we say that every time, and as for every Brooklyn Nine-Nine, there's plenty others that don't get that. So
Correct, yeah.
Gary Sinise is going to be coming to TV. Well, coming to streaming anyway. He'll be in the final season of 13 Reasons Why.
There's
It's
another
supposedly-
season coming out?
They ain't done, man. This girl's been dead since episode 1, but they're still talking about her.
My God.
Sorry.
God, it hurts my feeling.
That's kind of cool. I haven't seen a hell of a lot of Sinise recently, so that's cool.
Yeah.
One of my favorite actors, Will Poulter, is joining the Amazon Lord of the Rings series. Because you know what we've been waiting for, a longer version of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, well, they paid $5 billion, so we're going to have to watch the
They're gonna
longest
get it.
version ever.
Grace and Frankie is coming back for season 7, and it's going to be the final season of Grace and Frankie on Netflix. And this is actually the longest running show on Netflix. No one else has made it to 7 seasons yet.
I know, and it's very shocking. And I believe it was the stars who called it quits.
Yeah?
I think it was like not Jane Fonda, but the other one,
Lily
Lily
Tomlin?
Tomlin. I think she said, "Can we just stop it now?" And I think Jane Fonda said, "Yeah, why not?"
Well, I mean, 7 seasons ain't too shabby. I don't know how long the seasons are.
They're about 8 or 10 episodes. That's a lot of episodes.
70 episodes, you know?
That's enough. You know, they're all 80 years old apiece.
Yeah, and was it Martin Sheen's gay or something?
Yeah, Martin Sheen's and who else was the guy? Oh, was it him? No, was it her?
Not Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott?
No,
Sam
no.
Shepard?
I can't remember. Anyway, I can't remember who her husband
That
was. but
guy.
They both were husband friends, and they date each other. So
Ben Wheatley, the director of High Rise and Free Fire, is set to direct the Tomb Raider sequel set for March of 2021. That's right, Lisa Vikander.
Can I tell you though?
Tell me.
I predicted this. You said no, it can't happen. It was a bad film. I said yes, it has to happen because they set it up to happen, and the world just demanded that they do it. And overseas money actually made it happen.
What in the 7 Blue Hells are you talking about? First of all, I never said I hated it.
Well, no. You said it was never going to have a sequel, and I
never said that.
Yes, if you go back to the early,
Show me the
taping,
archives.
It's got to be in 1 or 2 season tape. But what I'm saying is, I was always a proponent for this to have a sequel, and we knew foreign money could help it. And foreign money did help it, and that's how we get the sequel coming in. But now she's going to be a more action, I think, based, Laura, because she got guns now. She got guns.
Got some new trailers coming out, buddy. Did you see the trailer for Black Christmas?
Yes, you and I were there to watch it.
Did we see that together?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was during the It movie.
So here's the funny thing about that. I don't know if you know the original Black Christmas is, but it's basically about a bunch of, sorority, and they get killed by some exchange dude that lived there, maybe, I don't know, something like that. Some dude's killing them, one by one. This one seems to be going in a more crazier direction, because there seems to be stuff about a cult, and there's one point they rip the mask off, and it's like a statue all of a sudden.
Carrie Yules is in it.
Carrie Yules, which, of course, right away, I was like, oh, he's going to be something, and of course, the trailer gives that away.
The trailer.
Another...
I texted you during this film. I know you're not supposed to text during the film, but we were down
and
low.
Usually, you get mad at me if I pull out my phone.
I know, but we were down low. No one saw us because we sit in the very front. But I just texted because we were still sitting a little part, and I told you they're ruining the movie.
Oh yeah,
they're too much. Too much is being told.
This is another trailer that I don't remember exactly when it does that, but if you could probably cut off. if you could probably cut off the last 45 seconds, you probably be good.
Yeah, I'd say about watch the first 30 seconds and stop completely.
I don't know about that. We'd have to rewatch it again for the exact moment, but yeah, just a little too much here. I'll give him credit that it looks a little different, and one thing that I did kind of dig, it does look like it's a little bit more of the women now sticking together to fight them off.
They're using the Marvel Women's Universe kick butt.
More than just the just the world's thing. We no longer just want to see some dude killing a bunch of chicks.
What? What's wrong with this country?
Someone made a good point though. And I thought this was a good point. Why do you need to call it Black Christmas then? Like, if you're not going to go with the original plot, just call it something else. Just call it,
well, because
Jingle
it sounds
Bells,
more
Holy
ominous.
Hell.
It's more ominous.
I know, but you're directly, it's like calling something, Friday the 13th and it's got nothing to do, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and it all takes place on Saturday the 14th.
It's a name, yeah. If you're going to call it that, make it that. Otherwise, just call it something new. Call it Jingle Bell Holy Hell, or Here Comes Santa's Slay, S-L-A-Y.
Yeah, well, it's probably been made, some B film somewhere out there. We just don't want to bring up that.
I'm just saying, to me, why call it Black Christmas when it's not Black Christmas?
Just let it be. We can't come up with real movies anymore.
Final trailer for Dr. Sleep. I don't think I did see this.
I saw it.
Was it in the theater?
No. So you can watch it online.
How dare you? We weren't doing that, Jim.
I try not to, but it was one of those that I had to watch because it was there. And that little blue dot on my YouTube channel said I had to watch it because it said there was a new video, and that was the video that I had to watch on it. So, but no.
And next week when we're talking top 5 Michael Bay films, we'll be talking about the first 2 of this trilogy. Bad Boys 3. Bad Boys 3,
yeah.
Bad Boys for Life.
Bad Boys
trailer
for Life.
finally came out. I know somewhere my brother's squealing with joy. What did you think? Do you give a crap about the Bad Boys?
I like the beginning whenever he just slams the Porsche into the hydrant, and then he starts rubbing it up and down because he's trying to get out. Yeah, I like that part. As for, I don't know what to think right now, but you know what? I'm going to watch it. Why? Because I've saw the other 2. And it's like watching. It's because Rambo's coming out on the 20th, right? So I look at it. I'm going to watch Rambo because I saw all the other Rambos, all 5 of the others. So let me just sit back and watch the 6th one. That's how that works.
I think very least I'm sure it'll be hopefully a passable time in the theater. If not, way better. Who knows? It's from the director of Deadpool, I believe. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah. And why not? It's been a while. They've talked about doing this for quite a long time. There's even a good amount of time between the first 2. So we'll get the 4th one in their 70s. Why not? I look forward to it. The box office for this week was number 5, Hobbs and Shaw popped in, making under $3 million. Bringing that to $164 million. Number 4 was The Lion King, making another $4 million, bringing that to $529 million. Number 3 was Good Boys, making another $5 million. Number 2, Angel Has Fallen, making about $5 million. And number 1 was It, Chapter 2, making $91 million for its debut weekend.
You know what you forgot?
What's that?
The most important. We talked about it earlier before we started the show.
What's that, buddy?
Don't forget.
Face Off.
Yeah, Face Off being remade.
Tell me about it. I thought that was yours. I thought you had it on your notes.
I just wanted you to maybe just bring it up briefly. But John Woo's big action-packed thriller action film, whatever, with Nicolas Cage and John Travolta is being remade. They really don't have a crew yet back into it, but I think they should go with who we thought was the original cast, which is Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. Why not? They're both 70-something years old. Let's just do a 70-year-old face-off. Let's have fun. Remember back in the day when I was going after your child? That type of thing. It'll be great. Let's do it.
You kind of got that in Last Action Hero. If you remember in Last Action Hero, Sylvester Stallone was the Terminator. Mm-hmm. I think you see it on the poster. No, I say I like my idea. I don't care who the second guy is. Let it be Nicolas Cage, though.
Yeah, well,
he's crazy enough.
He does need movie money. So.
Or James McAvoy swaps faces with James McAvoy, and he can do like a split and just do multiple voices.
Or a Tom Hardy does a Tom Hardy. Like he did in the that gangster film.
Legend.
Yeah, Legend. Yeah. So we could have Tom Hardy. Why not? Oh, you know what? Tom Hardy would be a great cast in that film. If they haven't, as far as I can gather, they haven't casted anybody in it yet. But hey, I'm open for it. I'll do it. So but yeah. I guess we're done, right?
That's all I got for you.
Is that all we're good?
I'm sure this has been well over an hour of. I was about to say, "Am I on the air?" That's my brother's podcast. An hour of
a show about shows. I know we haven't been together for a while. But anyway, by the way, I'm gonna continue to watch this Downton Abbey. I'm gonna continue to watch it. You just sit back. You sign us off. I'm just gonna watch it.
Guys, listen, for Dutch McAllister. And not for Dizzle. This is Jordan Pearson. I want to say thank you for watching a show about shows.
Oh, Mr. Crowley, I love you.
Oh, shut up, Dutch. Hope you're enjoying it, whether you're checking out Downton Abbey this weekend, maybe you're checking out Jennifer Lopez on a stripping pole. Whatever you do, have fun, be safe, and we love you more than you'll ever know. Shut it off already, dude. Seriously, I'm not watching this.